Greetings, friend.
Excuse me.
Look what I have for you.
I mean no discourtesy, but I've never heard of you, sir.
Fret not, I take no offense. I can tell you come from far away. Everyone here in the region knows me. I used to be the Mint Master, the king's official who oversees the Italian court, where the Prague Russian is minted out of Kuttenberg silver.
That sounds important.
Indeed it is. And that is why Sigismund stripped me of my office as soon as he took control of Kuttenberg.
I know we're in Suktal, and that this fortress belongs to you, but I don't know anything else about it. Or about this area.
It's not exactly a royal castle, as you can see. You'll find dozens of such fortresses around Kuttenberg. As the town grew richer, many burghers wanted to climb the social ladder to join the nobility. They bought land and built fortresses. Kuttenberg is surrounded by plains, so they've been springing up like mushrooms after the rain.
I'm sorry. God be with you. Oh, you pooch. Excuse me? I'm wounded.
Grüß Gott. Was brauchst du, mein Herr?
I heard Kuttenberg surrendered to Sigismund, And his army is running amok here in the area.
They are. These dreckigen Hurensöhne are angry, you see? They thought they would rake in the silver from the Kuttenberg mines. But they couldn't have been more wrong. Sigismund kept all the treasure for himself. Why should he pay them out of his own pocket when the local lords are feeding them?
What? Well, I don't understand.
Dann pass mal auf. As soon as the soldiers began looting the villages around the city, the local nobility quickly decided it's better to pay them Lösegeld.
So that Hungarian bastard is getting rich, while the locals feed his army?
Das trifft den Nagel auf den Kopf. And yet, that carrot-top Schweinehund lets the monks in the Selets monastery fuss over him while he receives legations from the whole kingdom.
Do you know by chance how to get into that monastery where Sigismund is staying?
Wie bitte? Hast du den Verstand verloren? You can forget about that. You won't get in there. And listen closely to what I tell you. I don't know what you're planning, but I'll give you some good advice. Leave Sigismund alone. The wheels of justice grind slowly, but surely. You'll see. You'd better be glad you still have your head.
I need to top up my supplies. Where could I find some merchants here?
You'd be better off asking the innkeeper Slivka in the village about these things. He knows everyone from far and wide. And that's no surprise, because he makes such good spirits.
How's it going, Captain? Do you have any work for me?
Sehr interessant. I thought you were helping Shishka.
What of it? So is there anything you need a hand with, Frenzel?
Was soll ich sagen? After our Lord paid ransom for us to the Chaiskel Cherton, there is peace here. Fortunately. Aber warte. Actually, there is one thing. You ought to have a word with our huntsman Dobrosch. He might have eine Aufgabe for you. See, someone poached a white roebuck in his territory the other day.
A white roebuck? That's a rare sight.
Ja, and Dobrosch takes it as a personal offense. So go easy on him, hörst du?
What exactly do you mean by that?
Just ask him if there's anything new happening in his territory, and wait until he tells you himself. Oh, ja. He really doted on that creature. Und das war alles. I don't have anything else.
All right, thank you. I'll ask around. I'd like to learn something.
What are you interested in?
I'd like to ask you something.
Also gut.
How do things work around here? Is there something I should be wary of?
Not really, except for the Sigismund military camp at Opatowitz. And it isn't really all that safe in the raised villages either. Diese Banditenbanden have settled in there. A bunch of dossers who'll easily cut your throat for a piece of bread. So God will. These evil times will soon be over.
How do I get to Kuttenberg from here?
Das ist nicht schwer. You just take the main road to the east, and then you'll see the church towers. Or you can also follow your nose. There's smoke rising from the Kuttenberg smelters day and night. The smell is hell, but it's worth it for the silver. In fact, the silver's why Kuttenberg is the second richest city in the kingdom, right after Prague.
Did Sigismund also attack Suchdol?
Oh yes, as soon as he got here. But my men know what to... Mein Herr Peter, the village...
What happened?
They raised Meseles and Opatowitz. There was nothing left but ash. They haven't been here since then. But who knows what der Teufel soll see.
Where did you say Sigismund's army?
Unfortunately, they've occupied the hill above the main road near Kuttenberg. So no one could just come and help the town. When you walk out of the village and look toward Opatovitz, you should see the flags flying above their camp. Pah, that Hungarian camp is like a boil. It's just festering and we just can't get rid of it.
And this scar? It's strange, crooked, like a letter from a fancy book.
This fell off the battlements at Laxenburg Castle.
Lord above! From the walls! And were you conquering or defending that castle, sir?
Well, depends on how you look at it. We were storming a wine cellar, you see.
Ah, I do see. Only maybe you shouldn't go around telling people that, sir. It doesn't sound too heroic.
So what? Heroes like to have a drink too, now and again. I've got loads of scars from real battles anyway. Like here, on my other arm. A groom hit me with a crossbow nearby Yitchin. The boy was nearly 15. Poor fella.
That's how I lost my sweetheart.
Someone shot him?
No, he shot someone else.
Ah, I see.
And what about your eyebrow, sir? It seems a bit crooked. Do you have a scar there too?
Aye. I nearly lost my eye.
Also in battle?
No, I was a lad. I made a bet with some friends that I could run all the way down the Devil's Slope without stopping once. That's what we called this one really steep hill. Once you started down it, you either had to run all the way to the bottom, or tumble all the way there.
And you went tumbling?
I did nothing of the sort. I ran down. But as I was celebrating, prancing about like a deer, I tripped on a root. I landed on my head and cracked it open on a stump. An inch or two off, and I'd have lost that eye.
What the fuck was that?
How are things, Captain?
What do you think? I've seen better days. And you, youngster?
Not so great. I'm feeling pretty battered.
Just wait until you've been through as much as I have.
Nah, don't say that. You still have your strength. A real man of iron.
A damned rusty one, I'd say. But enough chat. I see Jobst has returned to the fortress.
That's why I'm here. They're expecting us. I wanted to take Catherine along too, but she said she'd rather get the horses ready.
She's doing the right thing. And you better run ahead and greet the Margrave. I'll join you shortly.
Are you expecting trouble?
I always expect trouble. Jobst has turned coats more times than I can count. And the way things are these days, I'd rather have horses standing by, even on a visit to my parents.
What about that dry devil of yours? Did you find out where he went?
No, nobody asked him where he was going, but it seems they're hoping it's as far away as possible. I'm not surprised. If I know him, he wasn't the ideal guest.
At least Jobst might know where he is.
He might. To be honest, that's the only reason for talking to him.
Should I really go and see Jobst on my own? He's a Margrave, though.
So what? You already know him better than I do. You met him in Ratai. I only know what I've heard about him.
All right, but he sent for us both. How's it gonna look?
A bit odd, I suppose. But you must understand, I'm doing this for our benefit. The less time I spend with a Margrave in one room, the better.
All right, then. I'll be going, then.
Take that! You silly doggy. I'm sorry. Never saw that coming.
Greetings to you.
So, what's life like here?
What can I say, lad? It used to be better. There was peace and quiet while King Charles was alive. But those sons of his aren't up to much. Warring against each other. They should be ashamed. We're lucky we have Sir Peter. He won't allow us to come to any harm.
What's Sir Peter like?
Oh, he has a heart of gold. God smiled on us when he sent us Sir Peter. But he has a terrible sweet tooth. He eats nothing but preserves and sweet dumplings with curd cheese. And when he does feel like some meat, he demands nothing but chaffinch.
I'm a bit hungry. Do you have anything to eat?
That's not possible. I had you sent breakfast in bed. Susanna was supposed to take it to you.
You wouldn't happen to know where Lord Hinnock of Kunstad went, would you? He was a guest here only recently.
You mean that bony knight? I can't help you, I'm afraid. I don't stick my nose into the Lord's affairs. That wouldn't be right. Farewell, sir.
Good day. What would you like?
What goes on in the forest, Huntsman?
There are poachers prowling in the woods, a band led by this ginger-headed muck of Marshowitz. They've been causing trouble for quite some time, but now they've really overdone it.
What happened?
They killed a rare white roebuck that lived in our woods. Killed and skinned it. Sir Peter of Pisek put a bounty on their heads. The bounty's yours if you help me track them down.
I must say, I've never seen a white roebuck before.
It's an exceedingly rare animal. It was beautiful. Its hide was white as snow. Sir Peter forbade hunting it, but I wouldn't have even if I could. Killing an animal like that is bad luck.
Do you know any more about these poachers?
They're led by some fella called Markov Marshevitz, and they fancy themselves some kind of a brotherhood. From what I've heard, they showed up in the village below the castle a couple of times trying to sell venison. The guards always sent them packing. Our knacker, Wolfram, was the only one who talked to them.
That knacker, Wolfram, do you think he had anything to do with the dead roebuck and the poachers?
Oh, he has a dishonourable profession, true enough, and he sells hides and meat wherever he can. But having the gall to work with poachers, I don't think so. He's on thin enough ice as it is, being a knacker and all. If his lordship found out he had anything to do with it, he'd have him hanged. But he might know something about that band.
All right, huntsman. I'll try to track the poachers down. Maybe they haven't sold the hide yet, and I'll be able to find it.
Excellent. And if you mete out capital punishment on the spot, all the better. Every member of that band carries a squirrel tail on them. Probably a badge of their hunting prowess. Bring them to me as evidence.
Where should I look for these poachers?
Ah, that's the hard part. I'm sure they have a hideout in the woods around here, but you'll have to track them down yourself. If you don't know what to do, you can try to get something out of the knacker.
Thanks for the advice.
It was good to see you, my friend.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Good to see you.
Tell me then, what did he give you for it?
Sure. I tell you, and you dob me in.
Crazy. Why would I dob you in?
Look, just drop it, will you?
Greetings. What would you like? God be with you.
Henry. Where's Captain Zizka?
He got held up.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund, so I assume the negotiations at Trotsky didn't go too smoothly.
No, sir. I don't have good news for you, I'm afraid.
Well, good or bad, I'm sure you have plenty to report. So what happened with von Bergov at Trotsky?
I beg your pardon, Margrave, but I have the feeling you already know everything.
Really? I have the opposite feeling. These days, I seem to be completely in the dark. John of Liechtenstein, my court spy, I suppose you could say, has mysteriously fallen silent. But there's one thing you're